Today is August the 14th, 2012, and it's my birthday. I'm so happy to be spending my birthday with you guys today, and I'm gonna make carrot cake, which is my favorite dessert of all time. You're watching The Bear Pantry Show. Now, I know it looks pretty confusing here on the countertop, right? Because here at the Bear Pantry Show, we don't normally use a whole lot of ingredients in anything that we make. But this is my carrot cake from scratch, and it's pretty special to me because I make it every year only at my birthday time because nobody else likes carrot cake but me. And I'm gonna do a small one today. I'm not gonna do a double recipe. This is a recipe that I actually have in my book. And I used to eat this kind of cake and stuff in Belize when I was little because my Aunt Grace would be famous for making all these weird things that, well, the other kids thought it was weird, but I thought it was just wonderful. So I loved eating it. So the most important thing that you're gonna see from all the stuff I've done before is that we're using baking soda this time instead of baking powder. And we're using coconut milk. That's not new to the Bear Pantry Show. We kind of do everything with coconut milk. Here I have some crushed pineapples. It's 4 ounces in this measuring cup here, and I'm using it out of this can because I can't find a smaller can anywhere. And I've got some all-purpose white flour. I've got some sugar, of course, because no cake would be good without sugar. We're gonna put cinnamon in it, and you know I don't put nutmeg in anything sweet that I make because I'm allergic to nutmeg. I've got some regular cooking oil that I use to cook with, which is the canola oil, and only a couple of eggs. It's not gonna be a whole lot of eggs. And of course, some carrots. Now I've set aside 2. Let me see which way, this way. I've set aside 2, but I don't believe that I'm gonna need 2. I think I'll only need 1 because I only need a cup of the grated carrots to go in this. And so let's get it peeled and grated, and then I'll show you what we do next to make this wonderful cake. Now I'm using this little tool right here to peel the skin off of the carrot. But if you don't have this tool, you can actually use a knife, just the blade of a knife, and just peel off the skin. I've washed the carrot already, and I'm just peeling off the skin. But I'm using my special little tool because this right here, Joe will wait like a half hour in a line at Walmart while people are displaying their knives and kitchen type stuff, just to get me something for the show. So this is his latest little find that he got for me, because if you stand and you watch them do their display and their presentation, they'll give you something free, like a little knife or something to cut with or something to peel with. And Joe loves just standing there getting that free stuff for me. Isn't he so sweet? So we're just peeling the carrot, and then we're gonna grate it so we can measure out a cup, okay? So let me go ahead and get that cleaned up. If you notice, I'm grating the carrot on the smaller side of the grater. I don't wanna do it on this big cheese side because the carrot pieces are gonna be too chunky inside the cake. So this takes a little while longer, but I want it to look perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and grate it on this side. See how fine it is right there? So like I said, I think I might need this whole carrot right here. So let me go ahead and get this grated. Just like I thought, I didn't need more than the 1 carrot, see? I even have a little piece left over off of that 1 big carrot, and I got a whole cup of grated carrot to put in our cake. So in the meanwhile, what I'm gonna do now is go ahead and set the oven to preheat on 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and then come back right here so that I can show you how we're gonna mix these ingredients and what pan we're gonna prepare to put the cake in. So I've grouped together all the wet ingredients, the cooking oil, the grated carrot, the egg, the crushed pineapple, and of course the coconut milk, because I want to show you that I'm going to measure out the coconut milk to show you, because the cooking oil and the coconut milk are measured the same way, and it's a really weird measurement. It's going to be 1/4 cup, and the cooking oil is the same thing as the coconut oil, okay? But I measured the cooking oil prior. So it's 1/4 cup plus 1 tablespoon. Now I don't know how else to measure that for you guys to let you know. I don't know the ounces, stuff like that. Perhaps I can check that at a future date. But that's how it's measured, so that's why I wanted to show you how to measure the coconut milk, because the cooking oil here and the coconut milk are the same thing. 1/4 cup plus 1 tablespoon. This is 4 ounces of crushed pineapple, 1 cup of grated carrot, and 2 eggs. So you guys are following the ingredients so far, right? Because now I'm gonna sweep this out of here, and I'm gonna bring in the dry ingredients to show you those. Here are the dry ingredients: 1 cup of all-purpose white flour, 1 teaspoon of that baking soda, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1 cup of white sugar. I think I'm going to add raisins to this too. I don't have that in my book for us to add raisins, but you know how much I love raisins and you know how much the kids hate it, and because nobody's going to eat this cake but me, I'm going to go big or go home. So let's get all the dry ingredients in one bowl, all the wet ingredients in another bowl, and then we'll show you how we make this cake. Now, it would be easiest if when you mix your ingredients, you put everything in little containers like I've done here. I know it's more work and more things for you to wash when it's all done, but I promise you, you won't forget a single ingredient. I've added the cinnamon, the flour. You don't have to add these in any particular order, okay? The sugar. We just want to mix the dry with the dry and the wet with the wet. Here's the baking soda, and that's 1 bowl. Now let me get another bowl to put the wet ingredients. And our wet ingredients are 1 cup of grated carrots. Hope you guys are paying attention to the ingredients, all right? And then a 1/4 cup plus 1 tablespoon of cooking oil, or 2 eggs, and I just kind of lightly beated it, or coconut milk. And I would tell you to trade out coconut milk for buttermilk if you wanted to, but I wouldn't be Belizean. Honestly, I wouldn't be. So here's our crushed pineapple, and you don't ever want to make carrot cake without the crushed pineapples. If you go to the pantry and it's kind of bare, pun intended, and you find out that you don't have the crushed pineapples, pretty much don't make the carrot cake, because the crushed pineapple is the secret ingredient to making the carrot cake moist. That's why sometimes you'll get a dry carrot cake at some of the restaurants and so on. So here I am, I just mixed all the wet ingredients in this one bowl. Let's get the dry ingredients mixed together. And then what I do here is mix all the dry ingredients in together. And our next step now is to just mix the wet with the dry. You see how simple it is? Even though it's a lot of ingredients, it's pretty simple cake to make, right? Let's get the wet and dry ingredients mixed together. So our oven beeped just now to let us know it's ready at 350. So here's the wet. Let me see what I want to do. I'm going to mix the wet into the dry. I don't think it really matters if you mix it the opposite way, but we're going to do it like that. So here we have a bowl of wet. Like I said, this is going to be a very small cake, and I made the recipe that way because some people just want a smaller carrot cake, because I don't think carrot cake is really popular in a lot of families. At least it's not in mine. I'm the only one that really likes it. And my old auntie that passed away a few years ago, she loves this too. She used to make this. So this is our little secret ingredient here, a little secret recipe, I should say. And we just want to really mix it well so that the powdered or the dry ingredients can mix in with the wet. See, if you take a look already, it's not a whole lot of batter. So it's not going to make a very big cake. It's not going to make like a 9 by 13. If you want to make that, you're going to have to double this recipe, okay? And if you are like me and you have trouble adding fractions, unless you can add it on a paper, no need to stress. Just go ahead and measure the cooking oil and the coconut milk like I did. Do a 1/4 cup plus a tablespoon, and then do another 1/4 cup plus a tablespoon. I mean, there's nothing that says you can't do that, because that's what I do when I can't do the math. So here we are. I think it's all mixed in, but I'll check on the bottom. And then let me get my pan greased and floured, because remember I told you guys when we're dealing with batter, you always want your pan to be greased and floured, and when dealing with dough, it's only greased. So let's get my pan greased and floured. Here's the pan greased and floured, and this is either an 8 by 8 or a 9 by 9. I suppose I should measure to let you guys know, huh? Anyways, I'll measure it and tell you, and let's get the batter inside the pan. You guys didn't think I was going to measure, huh? It's 8 by 8. So that's the size pan that we're using right now, okay? Time to pour our batter. Look at all the cinnamon pieces in there. It smells good already. And I didn't put the raisins yet because I'm just going to like float those on the top. So it's going to be a very small cake. See, it's not a whole lot of batter. It's going to raise a little bit more than that. I'm going to get this cleaned out too. So let me get some raisins. Just putting a few raisins in here. You don't have to put this if you don't want to. And of course you could put walnuts or any kind of nuts you like. That's the thing with carrot cake. You could just load it up with stuff if you want. I think raisins are known as sultanas over there in the UK. So we're going to put some raisins, and our oven is ready. So we're going to go ahead and put this in the oven for, I believe, about 35 to 40 minutes. We're going to check it with a toothpick for doneness when that time comes. While my carrot cake bakes, I have my cream cheese thawing out so that I can go ahead and make my cream cheese frosting. And you guys can go check out my video that's already at the site on cream cheese frosting. Look at our cake. See, it didn't get too tall in this pan. This pan is kind of deep. I think it's about 2 inches. So if we did a double batter, we could have actually fit it in the same pan and would have been a fatter, taller cake. Or we could have put it in 2 pans like this and then have a layered cake. And I really love layered cake because I like when stuff's in the middle of the cake. But for right now, like I said, I wanted to do a small recipe because I don't want to have too much of this around to eat. I'm actually going to serve a piece for my birthday today, and then I'm going to put the rest in the freezer, because I really and truly don't want it to go bad. And like I said, maybe Joe will eat a piece, but not too many people in this house like carrot cake. So let me show you what we're going to do next. I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to get a knife and go around here and get this cake out of the pan and put it on a platter. But I want to show you, for the people who haven't gone to see my video yet at the site for cream cheese, I'm going to show you how to do the cream cheese frosting right here. This is 1 pack or 8 ounces of cream cheese. I did 4 tablespoons of butter, and I'm just kind of mixing it in here. And I had the cream cheese out of the refrigerator for about 3 hours, just getting softened to room temperature. And then what I'm going to do right here is just measure, let me get this out the way. I'm going to measure 2 cups right here. Let me see, 2 cups of icing sugar or confectioner sugar, and just dump it in there. And the only other ingredient that we're going to use for this will be vanilla. Like I said, there's a video at the site already that I put up so you can know how to do this, but I'm just showing you real quick in the middle of this video how to do the cream cheese frosting. So we're just going to want to work the powdered sugar, the confectioner sugar, icing sugar it's known by in Belize, into the cream cheese along with the butter. And I know it doesn't look like that right now, but this is actually going to become like a frosting. It's going to become like a paste. And we're going to put some vanilla extract, and the one that I'm using right now is the one that I got at my dad's store. Let me get my hand off of there. And I'll put up his link as I usually do. And just for those of you who don't know, it's bluefield-prod.com. Prod is like short for produce or products. And so let's keep working this till we get our cream cheese frosting. And my cake's already cooled, by the way. It took about 35 minutes to cook, and we've been cooling it down for the last half hour or so. And I didn't take it out of the pan to cool it this time, because I've noticed with the carrot cake, it's so light and kind of flimsy that if you take it out of the pan while it's hot and put it on a cooling rack, it doesn't always come out good. It kind of breaks apart on me. See? I stayed on with the camera and showed you guys how quickly this became like a frosting, a paste. So let me get the cake out of the pan on a platter, and then we'll frost this cake. I was able to get it out in a whole piece on this platter. I want to lift up here to show you that under here is the top part of the cake as it was in the pan. And every time I do cake, I always flip that bottom layer. Even if this was going to be a layered cake, you flip that over so that the ugly side, so to speak, is on the top. Because even if you're going to do layers, you want to put the layer there and then put the other side face up. But right here, because this is not a layered cake, let me get that spatula out of there, we want to frost the ugly side, so to speak, the bottom. Because then when you serve the cake to your guests or yourself, this frosting is going to be covering up the bottom side or the ugly side. And then when you cut the cake, the bottom side is actually going to be pretty, because that's where the top is. So that's my little theory for that. You know, there's a saying that behind everything beautiful is something ugly. And you can picture that like if you open up the walls to your house to like fix behind the wall or something, it's real ugly behind there, but in front of the wall is always pretty. So we could have also done this cake like in a loaf pan, or maybe in a round layered pan, smaller in diameter, so that the cake would be taller. But I knew that it would come like this because this is an 8x8 pan. And I just wanted, like I said, small. And every year for my birthday, this is the only thing that I ever want, is carrot cake, because nobody likes it. So I can't buy it or make it for their birthdays. You know, so I have to do it for mine. Because actually, I don't know if you guys have Costco where you are, but Costco makes a pretty good carrot cake for me too. I kind of like theirs. But anyways, not give them any free advertising. So, and you can tell I'm not really artistically inclined when it comes to making the cake frosting look pretty. But basically, this is our little carrot cake. And of course, you could get colorful stuff and dress it up more and do all that to it. But this is basically what I do to it. And I want to go ahead and cut a piece so that we could see what it looks like on the inside. Let me get a knife. Okay, look at our cake. See, I cut out that piece right there. Let me push this aside. That's that little piece that I have on this platter. And let me zoom in on it so we could see how moist it looks. Like my close-up. See how beautiful that is? The pineapple chunks in there, the raisins. And if you had nuts in it, that'd be fine too. Now this is what we would be consider like a serving. So I want to check the rest of that cake to see how many servings we would get out of that whole cake. So let's see how many pieces this would serve of those size pieces. Let's eyeball it. About here would be another row. That would make it smaller, right? Okay, so yeah, I don't want to do that because I don't want it to get smaller. So let's do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and that one piece makes 12. So I would say this cake could serve 12 at those sizes pretty easily. And what I want to do today is something a little bit different. I want to go to the computer program that I write my books in and see how much calories would be in a piece of cake like that size. And remember, these are a little bit smaller, but we're going to get a good judgment of how many calories per slice, okay? So let's go take a look at the computer and see what that says. So this is the program that I use to make my books in. Actually an awesome program. And let me go find my cookbook that you guys see at the site. And let me find carrot cake. Let's see. Right here. Carrot cake. Let me turn on the nutrition. It's the same half recipe that I used. Let me turn on the nutrition, and it says, I say that it serves 10 people here. And so let's change that because it could probably, we said 12, right? So let's change that. We're going to say it serves 12 people. And I'm going to hit save. It says you've changed the number of servings. Do you want to scale it? No, I want it to stay the same way. And now we're going to turn on the nutrition. And for the nutrition, it says 149 calories per slice. So I opened the recipe for cream cheese frosting, and it's serving 12 people too. But that, remember, we only used half of that recipe that we made. So half of that will serve 12 people, and that will give you 89.2 calories. So if you add the amount for the cake and the cream cheese, that's pretty much how many calories you're eating in one piece of that cake. I didn't put the calories on in my cookbook because with the Belizean recipes, I just wanted to teach how to make them and not have to worry about the calories. But in any future cookbooks that I write, I'm going to turn the nutrition on so we can know exactly what we're eating, and perhaps we can start changing some of the recipes to make them a little bit more healthier. I'm so happy that I was able to spend my 46th birthday with you guys. The carrot cake came out just wonderful. It was moist and delicious, and so was the cream cheese frosting. Both these recipes are in my cookbook. Thank you for the people who have been picking up the cookbook. Thank you for subscribing, for watching the show, for sharing it with your friends and family, for spending this awesome birthday with me. And to all of you who are also celebrating your birthday today or sometime this week, have a happy and prosperous birthday. Until I see you guys again, take care.